You never can tell how a date will end. And if you're a hopeless romantic like myself or Lindsay, who we've heard from, then you'll understand that you have to sometimes just jump in and say yes to things. And I remember being back home in Cape Town, South Africa, when a girl from New York decided to reach out and connect with me. It was the early days of Facebook, and the first time I'd ever been poked. So I thought I'd poke her back. Something was happening. Look, it wasn't that we were in entirely different worlds in spite of the geography that separated us, but that she studied at a school that I had studied at, and that I write poetry, and something had been mentioned about my poetry, and she had heard it, and she writes poetry, and so she poked me. And we started this exchange of icons, and then likes, and then the basic stalking that happens, right? I mean, I went through her profile, and I thought she's quite an attractive girl. And I mean, if she's studying the same thing, maybe we've got something in common. And then she sent me a photograph. It wasn't one of the photographs from her profile picture. That's all I'll say. And I thought, wow, how do our worlds meet? I don't know, but sure enough, a gap opened in our combined calendars. And we sort of looked at it, and I said, why don't you get on a plane to Cape Town? I'll go Harvey's on a plane ticket, and let's have a week-long first date. I mean, it's what you do, right? Yeah. And so I don't know if you've ever met a date for the first time at an airport after she's flown for 28 hours. And there was a sort of a hug and an invitation for me to take her to the closest shower. And anyhow, that started the most romantic week of her life. And we did great things. Cape Town's a great city to visit. So we did the wine farms and dinners out and dinner dancing. And I decided to introduce her to some friends and be very candid, right? We're doing a week-long first date. She's flown out from New York. Everybody thought that we were very brave. I had my doubts, not from the first moment at the airport, but when she got home and I realized that she had bought hand luggage and a suitcase full of shoes. There were 8 pairs of shoes for a 7-day trip. And I remember a lot of things about her. I remember that she looked exquisitely beautiful in that red dress that she wore to my friend's birthday party. I remember her olive Mediterranean skin and her dark brown eyes. And of course, I remember that photograph. For the life of me, I don't remember her name. And she's no longer a Facebook friend. So, but what I remember about her came out of the middle of that week. Because in the middle of that week, I reached a threshold where I realized that a week-long first date was just way too much for me. And actually on day about 3.5, I turned into a bit of a dick. I needed space, but I didn't know how to ask for it. I was frustrated, but I didn't know what to do with her. She didn't know anybody in town. She didn't have any plans. She was in my house. It was only my car that could get her anywhere, and it was just too much that was going on. And I was like, and I wasn't my best self by any means, but what I remember about her was her sitting me down on that couch outside on the front veranda. And she said to me, I'm going to tell you some things that I know nobody's told you before. Because if they had, you wouldn't be behaving the way you're behaving right now. And I thought in that moment, I know why we're in this moment together. I know why I've reached out to risk this flaming love and romance coming crashing down. Because here is a woman with strength and power to deliver a great, beautiful, healing message. We had an extraordinary connection that week. It was from first poke to the defriending, one hell of an experience.